Okay, so today is April 11th, and I have a good friend here with me, Nectarius from Greece, astrologer, that we are going to discuss about what is happening in the world, what is coming, and I think that most of you could enjoy from topics that we are going to cover. Hello, Nectarius.
Hi, my friend. Hi, Osher. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you passing those days of the coronavirus, and how are the things in Greece?
Everybody's locked out. We cannot move, do nothing, always staying at home. It's a difficult time for everybody, I think. And it's a difficult time.
Businesses are working. Businesses are working.
Some businesses, not all.
What do you think about the economy situation in Greece that isn't great since the beginning?
It wasn't great before that, and now tourism is a thing here in Greece because tourism begins from March, April. Should begin to have people to come, and it's a difficult thing for Greece.
A lot of countries in the south of Europe are going to suffer from tourism deficit.
Yeah,
Spain.
This will be. Oh, Spain is yeah. You know, this is a big pressure in the economy, and Germany wants to do her own things, and it's not a union anymore. You know,
it's very big,
like it should be. Looking at the charts, of some countries, the more difficult countries, I think, are Spain. They have a lot bad things to come to them, and Italy and Germany, not now, but in the near future, economically, in the economy. And this will affect the EU, and we have a lot of shifts happening there.
Yeah, we understand that the European Union is very on the verge of collapse in a way, and the borders and the status of which is the poor country, which country is leading, which is not, the US sovereignty is all about to shift now, as we are right now speaking about two major blocks in the world, Europe and the US. Of course, the third block is China, but China isn't going to be now, and is all related with Saturn-Pluto conjunction that just started the cycle. What would you speak about the Saturn-Pluto, if you have anything to add? We spoke about it, and what is going to take us?
A lot. I don't want to speak a lot about it, because we all spoke all the time about it a lot of times. One thing, you know, Saturn, Pluto, and with eclipses, it's a shift, and it's a time where a lot of people will suffer, and we see it. You know what happens with the coronavirus and so on. It's a big shift in the economy too, with Saturn, Pluto. We have to understand with Saturn, Pluto that in the chart of America, USA, it is in the second house, this conjunction in America. And the last big depression that they had and affected the whole world was 1929. And we had Pluto in Cancer then, and Saturn in Capricorn. It's activation of the same axis, you know, and we see this happening again.
But this is more than this, because in the United States, Mercury is in 24 degrees of Cancer, and that's Pluto was conjuncting with the Mercury. Now there are Pluto Saturn on it, and it's already happening since last February. It's exactly happened, but still a lot to come for 2022. You agree with 2020?
Yes, I think a lot to come in 2022.
Yeah, it's like the escalation, like the process, the going to.
Yeah. Of course, this is. I think they will go to depression.
Of course.
Long term. Yeah.
Of course.
For USA, it's a very difficult years. The next years. Yeah, it will be very difficult. And okay, one thing is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, important for the whole world, and for USA, important, typically. But one more thing that will happen this year, I think, is more important, long term. It's this conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, because
you are. Let me say, you are very much fascinated by this Jupiter and Saturn. For a long time, you are always mentioning it. Of course, it's important, and of course, it's significator of after 200-year cycle of from Earth to air. But why you see it more even significant to this to explain about what is coming more than just
let me explain like this. If we had this year only the Saturn Pluto conjunction, it could happen that something big will happen in the world. It could be that we have the markets go down, okay, but this all would recover, and will come to the same sort of living again. This Saturn Jupiter conjunction is showing us that a big shift is happening in the monetary system, and this is, I think, the big thing here.
But also Saturn, also Uranus in Taurus alone.
Yeah, of course,
is speaking about it, and also.
You're right. Of course, but it's a big Jupiter and Saturn. It has to do always with the economy. It's an economical cycle, and it is very important for the economy, more important than any other cycle. It's very important. Yeah, and because it will change sign. This is a big shift for this cycle. This is a big. The last 200 years we had this cycle in Earth signs. Earth, value, money, to have things. This is a big shift. This is showing that the next years we will have something else that has more value.
I would add here something, that indeed the Saturn Jupiter that are going to meet on December 17th, 2020, important indicator. But we saw already, even in the last 200 years, a lot of economical cycles and depression. I would like to refer this, not just because it's always having, we always have shifts, and the industrial revolution and other things, we always progressing. I think that with this,
it's like we had the capitalistic system, began. It's something like this. Something will change totally the mentality of thinking about economy.
Oh, that's what I agree. The mentality of people will change, and mentality will affect how we are doing economy and businesses.
Of course.
This is what I agree, because always they are thinking about cycles. Now it will be a paradigm shift that is more spiritual and
and this will change the art of economy, how we see economy from now on. And this is a very important. Some people say, okay, 2020 we will have a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and they are waiting for this conjunction, and they think that the next day will everything change. No, this happens not in one day.
Of course,
it begins and it will last. Okay, But this is an important point in time.
We are ready after Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January, and with all the retrogression we are having into this December, November, December, is just building a momentum into the change.
And yeah, of course. And one more thing, you know, we are talking about a big shift in the mentality of the people, in the economy. And think about it. How could this shift happen? What do the people who have the power, what do they need? They need fear. And this is Saturn Pluto, you know, fear to the people, and then we can make big changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes. But I would not put the finger only on someone that is doing it to us, because by understanding and looking on the sky and understanding cycles, doesn't matter in what society we would live, with this conjunction, we should pass through fear, through losses, through a crisis in order to shift. So it's not that someone is, you know, the astrology is making the events, it's not the opposite. Of course, Pluto is related to fear, but it's more, it should happen like this anyhow, that people will feel fear because
of course,
the reality they are feeling is going to break.
Yes. But this is what the planets are showing. You know, fear comes first, and then a shift can happen.
No, I answered you because I'm listening to a lot of other YouTubers that are explaining the shifts to come based on what they do to us, Like this is some big men that are doing the plan. We all part of
No.
Also, people are part of the plan.
Yeah, of course. But this is what astrology is showing. It's showing a big shift, and this shift comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 stages. You know.
Yes.
These triggers.
The fear is not how they control the world with fear. Fear should be involved in all those cycles, and the change and the power. It's like
you can think like okay. Yeah, I agree.
I recommend in a spiritual level to people, because Saturn Pluto is also working on people. We are part of the movie. It's not that we are not victim of the system. We also have inner control. We also have inner government, our inner Saturn. And our inner government and decision making, the strategy of our life, is needed to pass through fear, uncertainty, or something in order to move into the new paradigm. So every person is needing to shift. What is my corrupted government inside myself? Because we are still continuing to manage and to run.
I understand what you're saying, but it's another thing, the fear that everybody is feeling inside, and he has to confront himself with the inner self. And it's another thing what is going outside without I didn't do something bad, but I'm now stuck at home, you know.
But of course it's working inside, outside. It's a theme of a universal shift. And it's
of course it's
on the collective and on the individuals. But
of course
we need to take advantage of this cycle, I think.
Of course, this is another thing. This is a cycle where people should find other things to take advantage of the individual. Yes.
Our decision making about what we base. So it's not just the fear that they want to shut us off. It's about how I'm going to come out of my own fears in order to move into a direction that I never had the courage to do. Because my own action are going to build this new paradigm in the world that I would like to be part of. So you know, it's like under God, universe law, like even government and people are under those influences. So governments do what they can. What government can do, they can print money, they can do the shutdown, they can do a lot of things. These are the tools of government. What you can do, what other can do. Every person has his own tools related to his position in the universe. The child and the parent having different control system, but are all part of this. So just wanted to illuminate that it's not the same.
And it's important.
So what do you think? Okay, let's continue with the macro level. What do you think to happen, or what sort of world, if you could imagine, would be more aligned? Because we are speaking the shift of the economy and the currency market. Okay, a lot of people speculated about it already for the last decade. It's going to be crypto, it's going to be this, we're going to replace, blah, blah, blah. But if we understand that it's involved with a paradigm shift of understanding differently economy and value,
the thing,
reality you would imagine?
The thing that will change, I think, in the people consciousness is value. How they think about value. I think the people in the next years won't be so greedy and look about.
Just a second. Yeah. I know what you want to say in this there. I want still to continue with the path of countries, because countries having also a control. Okay. So it's easy to tell the story of astrology in this sphere. What next with the paradigm shift? How governments and countries, separated countries, should behave in such a new paradigm?
How they should behave?
Yeah, because it will influence on them too.
Yeah, of course. But for me, for the next couple of years, the question is, I thought about it, and one question came to my mind, you know, and this has to do with Saturn in Aquarius too. You know, fascism or freedom? This is, I think, the question in the next years that will play a lot of a role here. You know, it's a time where people can make the breakout and bring new things to life. This is for me the big shift, you know, about how they think about freedom. What is freedom for people, and will it happen?
Before people, try to focus on countries, because we want to understand the Saturn of government. Like most people don't know that they have power, so they are giving all the power to government. This is something that I would like to expand in a moment.
I don't think that the next couple of years something will change for the people's good. You know, I think the powers will try to you know, Saturn in Capricorn is something, a holistic idea. This has to do with one world government. It has to. This is a bad side of Saturn in Capricorn, and I think something like that will happen the next few years before we have something big that will change.
I still,
you know what I mean?
I know. I still don't understand what you want to tell. I understand about the changes.
I can hear you.
I understand about the changes that you are speaking. Definitely, we are going into changes. I will tell you what I think, and you will give your opinion. I think that countries should behave as I expect that it will happen with people. Like, countries will arrive to conclusion that cannot based on their own resources, and will start to interact in creating new groups. Like, so far we knew the BRIC, now it will be, or the Eurozone, now it's countries that even have no border in common, like China, South Africa, Australia, something like this, Argentina.
That's what I said to you, a holistic government for the whole world. This is, yeah.
I didn't understand the idea of holistic government. I think that you are speaking in holistic. Okay.
No. It's a holistic. Yeah, I agree totally with you, of course. But I think the first years, this will not be a good thing for the people.
Why?
I see more control over the people, you know?
Until the end of the year, I agree. Until the end of this year, I agree, more control.
I think more. I think 1-2 years more.
Yeah.
This will be, I think from 23, I see people to begin to feel more free and more, you know, and this has to do with the cycles, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, Saturn, and so on. You know, it's very difficult for these cycles until the first half square. This is a very important time point in time.
When?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
What do you think
always
about the entrance of Saturn deeper inside of Aquarius?
The first aspect is the half square. We have the 13 degree. Okay, that's not so important for me. We have the half square, and this is very okay. And this is very important point in time for this cycle. It's a challenge time.
But a square to where? A square to where? Saturn to where?
Jupiter to Saturn.
Jupiter to Saturn. Okay.
Yeah. And then Saturn to Pluto. This half square of this whole cycle, the next cycle that began. Okay, it's very important.
Yeah.
This is a challenge time for this cycle. It's the first challenging time for this cycle to develop.
It's the beginning. It's the taking momentum of this new cycle.
Yeah, it's like something wants to be born and it's difficult. It wants to come out, you know, but it pushes. Yeah, and if this comes out, the new thing comes out, it comes always with difficulties.
Yeah.
And then we go to the first sextile and the things go, you know, more the power flows more easily.
Yeah, I definitely see a very hard time in the world between 21, 22, but still I start to see that indeed governments will try to manage the old way and people will try to rebel the old way or with a little new tricks, but this will be a sort of a collision that reminds me of a civil war or something like this. And
I don't see a war. Yeah.
I call it a civil war. People rebelling against the system and they know that they were familiar so far, whether people won't have the money for paying their credits, their loans, and such like this. And it will start to be very, very much spirit of anarchism to people starting to break the rules. And it still will be under control of the governments, but it won't be as you try to offer before, that still government control. Yeah, government will have the control to try to punish, but it will be very hard for the government to punish the people who break the rules.
You know, if I think about Saturn in Aquarius, two things came to my mind. One thing is the rise of Hitler, of course, you know, and this has to fascism and so on. And the other thing,
in Uranus in Taurus, also Hitler.
Do more with Saturn in Aquarius.
Yeah, but also,
and, of course. And the other thing that came to my mind was Martin Luther King. I have a dream. You know, this is Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. We will have from the one side governments to depress people, and and from the other side, exactly what you said, people rebellion, and to try to make something new. Yeah. This is exactly what will happen the next, I think, 2 to 3 years, and we have from 21 and the square from Saturn to Uranus. It's a difficult, very difficult aspect, and this cycle is very important.
This is a collision between people and authorities. This is the collision between finding alternatives and staying on the traditional way. This is the collision between staying in the urban lifestyle, building buildings, real estate, to something that is more justice socially or based on groups, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I also see very much problems with food.
Of course.